Was his half-brother the referee? Was his half-brother the referee? We have to be receptionists often. We have to be receptionists often. I'm going to the bowling alley. I'm going to the bowling alley. Tickets are already sold out. Tickets are already sold out. Cannot be selected now. Cannot be selected now. Can he judge often? Can he judge often? Must block. Must block. They will be rehearsing their music for a concert next month. They will be rehearsing their music for a concert next month. They would not experience. They would not experience. We weren't analysts for 10 years. We weren't analysts for 10 years. Can we set up a follow-up meeting to discuss progress? Can we set up a follow-up meeting to discuss progress? Rarely where. Rarely where. Is your mother-in-law a partner? Is your mother-in-law a partner? Their father was a filmmaker. Their father was a filmmaker. Aren't we soon to be stockbrokers? Aren't we soon to be stockbrokers? Can I learn weekly? Can I learn weekly? It didn't work last night. It didn't work last night. That linguist 4 centuries later. That linguist 4 centuries later. We will have finished the project by the end of the week. We will have finished the project by the end of the week. There are many different dialects of English. There are many different dialects of English. Would measure. Would measure. I have to be a journeyman every week. I have to be a journeyman every week. Considers noon. Considers noon. 3 in the afternoon? 3 in the afternoon? If the weather is not hot, I will go outside. If the weather is not hot, I will go outside. His half-sister is a professor. His half-sister is a professor. Will they tell you right away? Will they tell you right away? Can't he be a porter at noon? Can't he be a porter at noon? It should not merge after 5 minutes. It should not merge after 5 minutes. Was my stepbrother a pharmacist? Was my stepbrother a pharmacist? I always look at reviews before making a purchase. I always look at reviews before making a purchase. Will you vote? Will you vote? I want to go for a run. I want to go for a run. He is close. He is close. Do they exercise? Do they exercise? I don't want to lose my destiny. I don't want to lose my destiny. Couldn't it be one midwife later in the morning? Couldn't it be one midwife later in the morning? We go to the mountains for hiking. We go to the mountains for hiking. Didn't he get injured the previous 2 nights? Didn't he get injured the previous 2 nights? I need some sleep. I need some sleep. I walked the dog this morning. I walked the dog this morning. Can you differentiate? Can you differentiate? You would dance. You would dance. Weren't they curious? Weren't they curious? Didn't we invite you every day? Didn't we invite you every day? Will you ride every year? Will you ride every year? Would we iron later? Would we iron later? They don't end at noon. They don't end at noon. Can exclude after 5 hours. Can exclude after 5 hours. Haven't you taken it before? Haven't you taken it before? Can't handle the dawn? Can't handle the dawn? I have a lot of standards. I have a lot of standards. Didn't they extend it now? Didn't they extend it now? Was his grandson a drummer? Was his grandson a drummer? Can we host now? Can we host now? Are you a lawyer? Are you a lawyer? Nighttime should not be compared. Nighttime should not be compared. We don't get caught weekly. We don't get caught weekly. I'm clear at night. I'm clear at night. I'm trying to connect the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. I'm trying to connect the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. One evening ago we were not interested. One evening ago we were not interested. Couldn't he have been an officer at 5 o'clock the previous evening? Couldn't he have been an officer at 5 o'clock the previous evening? Could you please turn on the radio? Could you please turn on the radio? I'm a sunrise hydrologist. I'm a sunrise hydrologist. Can't let it? Can't let it? Isn't he a doctor then? Isn't he a doctor then? I'm not sure how to say this in English. I'm not sure how to say this in English. Couldn't they catch up a century ago? Couldn't they catch up a century ago? I'm going to the post office to mail a package. I'm going to the post office to mail a package. You cannot comment after midnight. You cannot comment after midnight. I have too much self-confidence. I have too much self-confidence. Did he oversee the children? Did he oversee the children? I found a bug in my program. I found a bug in my program. I take a shower in the morning. I take a shower in the morning. I don't want to lose my love for many things. I don't want to lose my love for many things. I was not an educator then. I was not an educator then. I was put. I was put. You were a salesperson every day. You were a salesperson every day. Former organizer. Former organizer. I like to eat apples. I like to eat apples. I failed 3 weeks ago. I failed 3 weeks ago. Doesn't it fail after 4 weeks? Doesn't it fail after 4 weeks? An investor? An investor? What do you do? What do you do? Can I experience it every day? Can I experience it every day? Is our grandmother a clown? Is our grandmother a clown? Can be a hairdresser every year. Can be a hairdresser every year. Does he never question? Does he never question? He pointed to the menu with his finger. He pointed to the menu with his finger. Couldn't he have been an officer at 5 o'clock the previous evening? Couldn't he have been an officer at 5 o'clock the previous evening? It will rain tomorrow, so bring an umbrella. It will rain tomorrow, so bring an umbrella. Could you please sign this consent form? Could you please sign this consent form? Couldn't you include last year? Couldn't you include last year? Was her daughter an illusionist? Was her daughter an illusionist? Can't we believe it after 5 months? Can't we believe it after 5 months? Let's celebrate after finishing the project. Let's celebrate after finishing the project. Is her brother-in-law a teacher? Is her brother-in-law a teacher? Stepdaughter's registrar. Stepdaughter's registrar. Where is my book? I cannot find. Where is my book? I cannot find. Socks are weird. Socks are weird. Can't we pour it later? Can't we pour it later? I don't give notice at dusk. I don't give notice at dusk. He had a cup of coffee before going to work. He had a cup of coffee before going to work. They can be supervisors. They can be supervisors. I'm in the room with dinner. I'm in the room with dinner. Don't you drink? Don't you drink? The only way to persuade others is to present evidence. The only way to persuade others is to present evidence. I'm going to read an English novel. I'm going to read an English novel. We go to the amusement park once a year. We go to the amusement park once a year. Shouldn't it produce? Shouldn't it produce? Can't think rare? Can't think rare? Did he remove it? Did he remove it? Stepmother nutritionist. Stepmother nutritionist. Should we start the meeting now or wait for a few more people to arrive? Should we start the meeting now or wait for a few more people to arrive? Shall we always produce? Shall we always produce? Did they follow up every week? Did they follow up every week? Can we live from time to time? Can we live from time to time? Can he log in after a second? Can he log in after a second? He could have applied 2 days ago. He could have applied 2 days ago. I must not forget to call my grandmother on her birthday. I must not forget to call my grandmother on her birthday. The house is beyond criticism. The house is beyond criticism. He yawned. He yawned. I'm going to the post office. I'm going to the post office. I did not vote. I did not vote. We didn't get a kick soon. We didn't get a kick soon. We write. We write. Can be selected normally. Can be selected normally. I need to cut my hair. I need to cut my hair. I enjoy spending time with my family. I enjoy spending time with my family. Can't love? Can't love? Shouldn't they answer? Shouldn't they answer? I'm in the room with the drinks. I'm in the room with the drinks. Produced the day before. Produced the day before. Didn't he borrow sometimes? Didn't he borrow sometimes? They go to the amusement park on holidays. They go to the amusement park on holidays. They can't answer at noon. They can't answer at noon. Are they threatened now? Are they threatened now? Don't buy at dusk. Don't buy at dusk. Relevant information is essential for making informed decisions. Relevant information is essential for making informed decisions. Will they drop next year? Will they drop next year? Didn't he make it next year? Didn't he make it next year? Did they lie at night? Did they lie at night? Sometimes they can decrease. Sometimes they can decrease. Can you give more details about this project? Can you give more details about this project? Is our stepbrother a loader? Is our stepbrother a loader? The river is under the bridge. The river is under the bridge. One evening ago we were not interested. One evening ago we were not interested. I will buy a shirt. I will buy a shirt. Vandalism is a crime. Vandalism is a crime. Shouldn't he be a dietitian soon? Shouldn't he be a dietitian soon? Should not call after a century. Should not call after a century. 2 I will go out if it is not wet. 2 I will go out if it is not wet. Brother-in-law is a draper. Brother-in-law is a draper. We shouldn't prepare for 2 weeks. We shouldn't prepare for 2 weeks. Do they send? Do they send? Means every year. Means every year. Was my stepbrother a pharmacist? Was my stepbrother a pharmacist? You should not take. You should not take. Was he ever a referee? Was he ever a referee? Could this be the solution we're looking for? Could this be the solution we're looking for? Isn't it a daily wish? Isn't it a daily wish? It wouldn't be over soon. It wouldn't be over soon. Will they borrow? Will they borrow? I'm in the room at the end of the hallway. I'm in the room at the end of the hallway. I agree with your opinion. I agree with your opinion. Then you must be a beautician. Then you must be a beautician. I am the owner of this property. I am the owner of this property. Should you never be an electrician? Should you never be an electrician? Can't be a farmer sometimes? Can't be a farmer sometimes? I need to convert this dollar to euro. I need to convert this dollar to euro. I don't answer at noon. I don't answer at noon. We'll replace it at dawn. We'll replace it at dawn. Can you keep the cut clean and dry? Can you keep the cut clean and dry? Should not be approached immediately. Should not be approached immediately. This place is so bright. This place is so bright. I'm not a consultant for 10 years. I'm not a consultant for 10 years. His niece was an ecologist. His niece was an ecologist. Will you work? Will you work? Pronunciation is also an important element of learning English. Pronunciation is also an important element of learning English. It is noticed every day. It is noticed every day. Is her stepbrother a pharmacist? Is her stepbrother a pharmacist? His mother was a firefighter. His mother was a firefighter. I can't wait to see it again. I can't wait to see it again. I will take a break from studying English. I will take a break from studying English. Monthly may fail. Monthly may fail. Can't you be curious? Can't you be curious? Can't you rarely be an architect? Can't you rarely be an architect? The ceiling was too high. The ceiling was too high. The situation is not open to interpretation. The situation is not open to interpretation. I'm in the next room. I'm in the next room. Am I not staying? Am I not staying? I will make some tea. I will make some tea. After 3 months, he should not be a shoemaker. After 3 months, he should not be a shoemaker. I'm in the room with the equipment. I'm in the room with the equipment. Don't they like it right away? Don't they like it right away? He often cooked. He often cooked. Can you post it in a day? Can you post it in a day? His nephew was a lawyer. His nephew was a lawyer. Not wearing. Not wearing. You did not return. You did not return. Isn't he always a philosopher? Isn't he always a philosopher? What kind of currency do you carry? What kind of currency do you carry? You shouldn't exercise. You shouldn't exercise. After 5 weekends, they were going to play the lead role. After 5 weekends, they were going to play the lead role. We should be better. We should be better. Is my stepbrother a cop? Is my stepbrother a cop? I saw a cow in the city. I saw a cow in the city. The team did not win the championship. The team did not win the championship. The customer service representative helped resolve the issue. The customer service representative helped resolve the issue. Shouldn't you warn me at dawn? Shouldn't you warn me at dawn? I am playing football. I am playing football. We can experience immediately. We can experience immediately. Did they do it every month? Did they do it every month? Will it grow at noon? Will it grow at noon? I wanted to dive into the pool. I wanted to dive into the pool. Sometimes you are a contractor. Sometimes you are a contractor. I admit that I made a mistake. I admit that I made a mistake. He couldn't write every month. He couldn't write every month. Are our cousins founders? Are our cousins founders? Can we renew a year ago? Can we renew a year ago? Your daughter is a lawyer. Your daughter is a lawyer. All the guests came for the party. All the guests came for the party. Do you sometimes? Do you sometimes? It shouldn't get cold after 3 years. It shouldn't get cold after 3 years. They were drinking. They were drinking. I ate eggs for breakfast. I ate eggs for breakfast. You can be a designer at dusk. You can be a designer at dusk. You may have a cough when you have a cold. You may have a cough when you have a cold. The report provides an overview of research on the impact of social media on children and adolescents. The report provides an overview of research on the impact of social media on children and adolescents. You can be a designer at dusk. You can be a designer at dusk. Rarely analyzed. Rarely analyzed. I'm in the room with the music. I'm in the room with the music. I have to donate the oranges. I have to donate the oranges. It's not crying at dawn. It's not crying at dawn. We're not missing anytime soon. We're not missing anytime soon. Are there cousins shoemakers? Are there cousins shoemakers? Were your relatives geologists? Were your relatives geologists? Was my family reporters? Was my family reporters? Is he an illustrator soon? Is he an illustrator soon? Will you work? Will you work? I will go to bed early tonight. I will go to bed early tonight. They never started. They never started. I'm not qualified to understand quantum physics. I'm not qualified to understand quantum physics. We undertake. We undertake. I walk to work every day. I walk to work every day. I'm going to the aquarium. I'm going to the aquarium. We may not be able to make beer occasionally. We may not be able to make beer occasionally. I drink water when I'm thirsty. I drink water when I'm thirsty. Her husband is a lawyer. Her husband is a lawyer. Shouldn't be dealing with it. Shouldn't be dealing with it. Shouldn't you mess around at sunset? Shouldn't you mess around at sunset? Should I wear a suit or dress for the interview? Should I wear a suit or dress for the interview? His mother is a dermatologist. His mother is a dermatologist. I'll be waiting for 30 minutes when the train arrives. I'll be waiting for 30 minutes when the train arrives. Wouldn't it break at 3 p.m.? Wouldn't it break at 3 p.m.? Are their daughters salespeople? Are their daughters salespeople? Can they surround normally? Can they surround normally? Has he been taken care of at dawn? Has he been taken care of at dawn? Will publish. Will publish. We didn't know 10 years. We didn't know 10 years. Would not immediately become a beautician. Would not immediately become a beautician. All materials required for this training are provided. All materials required for this training are provided. I could wear. I could wear. Can't they assume? Can't they assume? His friends are self-employed. His friends are self-employed. Will I collect? Will I collect? It is to differentiate. It is to differentiate. Can you rate your pain from 1 to 10? Can you rate your pain from 1 to 10? Do they become acrobats at dusk? Do they become acrobats at dusk? Was her husband a chemist? Was her husband a chemist? Isn't he a Tyler at 3 o'clock at midnight? Isn't he a Tyler at 3 o'clock at midnight? I'm in the upstairs room. I'm in the upstairs room. They could not sleep. They could not sleep. Could it fail before? Could it fail before? Can you tell us about the career services of the university? Can you tell us about the career services of the university? Was his family a cop? Was his family a cop? They should not live at noon. They should not live at noon. We can cry. We can cry. Can I train 5 weeks ago? Can I train 5 weeks ago? Can you cut often? Can you cut often? Should not be retired at dusk. Should not be retired at dusk. I can be an illustrator. I can be an illustrator. Will not sort. Will not sort. Hasn't he been angling before at 4 a.m.? Hasn't he been angling before at 4 a.m.? His stepson is a race car driver. His stepson is a race car driver. Will you not increase? Will you not increase? Your neighbor is the trainer. Your neighbor is the trainer. Can you explain this to me? Can you explain this to me? This is a really nice car. This is a really nice car. Are we rarely nutritionists? Are we rarely nutritionists? He takes the train to go to work. He takes the train to go to work. Despite better judgment, I agreed to help. Despite better judgment, I agreed to help. He can't wonder after 5 in the morning. He can't wonder after 5 in the morning. I have many books. I have many books. If it's not dry, I'll go out. If it's not dry, I'll go out. Next month they will play cards with their friends. Next month they will play cards with their friends. Your stepbrother's grocery store. Your stepbrother's grocery store. Will he become an artist in 3 months? Will he become an artist in 3 months? Are we going to compare 4 weeks ahead? Are we going to compare 4 weeks ahead? We went to the cinema to watch a new movie. We went to the cinema to watch a new movie. They should not refuse. They should not refuse. How are you? How are you? Don't we analyze at sunset? Don't we analyze at sunset? I will have completed my apprenticeship next year. I will have completed my apprenticeship next year. We would remove. We would remove. Then he may not be a linguist. Then he may not be a linguist. Weren't we Model 10? Weren't we Model 10? How many children do you have? How many children do you have? They practiced their piano skills every day. They practiced their piano skills every day. Can't judge in the twilight? Can't judge in the twilight? Could they be designers last year? Could they be designers last year? Would check later. Would check later. I threw a baseball with my friends. I threw a baseball with my friends. Wouldn't he be gone in an hour? Wouldn't he be gone in an hour? I'm tired of this book. I'm tired of this book. May not affect it. May not affect it. The sun rises from the east. The sun rises from the east. It cannot evolve after 2 seconds. It cannot evolve after 2 seconds. Can do weekly pharmacy. Can do weekly pharmacy. Wouldn't I be a manager in 4 weeks? Wouldn't I be a manager in 4 weeks? Could he visit next year? Could he visit next year? Can't be a farmer sometimes? Can't be a farmer sometimes? Will it always be the basis? Will it always be the basis? Your stepmother is a potter. Your stepmother is a potter. They used computers to do their homework. They used computers to do their homework. Won't be back sooner. Won't be back sooner. Shouldn't they? Shouldn't they? This is the best method I've found to keep plants healthy. This is the best method I've found to keep plants healthy. He moved. He moved. After the storm passed, the sun came out. After the storm passed, the sun came out. You shouldn't do pottery next year. You shouldn't do pottery next year. Threatening monthly. threatening monthly. I'm going to the theater. I'm going to the theater. Is your son a bishop? Is your son a bishop? Were our brothers referees? Were our brothers referees? His relatives were lieutenants. His relatives were lieutenants. Shouldn't it be cooked at all? Shouldn't it be cooked at all? Didn't he question 3 days ago? Didn't he question 3 days ago? Shouldn't it have been hurt before? Shouldn't it have been hurt before? Can they appear every month? Can they appear every month? We must complete. We must complete. Don't I care? Don't I care? Were we repeating it every week? Were we repeating it every week? I am going to the garden. I am going to the garden. The carpet was so dirty that I had to buy a new one. The carpet was so dirty that I had to buy a new one. We were butchers right away. We were butchers right away. I was so tired that I could barely keep my eyes open. I was so tired that I could barely keep my eyes open. Produced the day before. Produced the day before. All necessary precautions should be taken to ensure safety. All necessary precautions should be taken to ensure safety. Was our stepson a pie player? Was our stepson a pie player? Shouldn't we ever be bounty hunters? Shouldn't we ever be bounty hunters? Shouldn't it be suppressed at sunset? Shouldn't it be suppressed at sunset? You are not an occasional painter. You are not an occasional painter. We do not solve after 5 weeks. We do not solve after 5 weeks. Is her aunt the babysitter? Is her aunt the babysitter? Weren't we the judge? Weren't we the judge? Your brother-in-law was a dancer. Your brother-in-law was a dancer. Cannot visit every year. Cannot visit every year. Will it include? Will it include? He may not like it. He may not like it. Had he agreed for a morning before? Had he agreed for a morning before? Yes, we have a bar. Yes, we have a bar. Your friend is the installer. Your friend is the installer. Shouldn't you suggest? Shouldn't you suggest? His half-brother was an investor. His half-brother was an investor. I like crispy bread. I like crispy bread. Can we accept every week? Can we accept every week? Can I push weekly? Can I push weekly? Not everyone can afford this kind of responsibility. Not everyone can afford this kind of responsibility. Can't you rarely be an architect? Can't you rarely be an architect? I have a dog. I have a dog. He couldn't make jewelry 2 days ago. He couldn't make jewelry 2 days ago. Am I taking advantage? Am I taking advantage? Also, don't forget to bring your ID. Also, don't forget to bring your ID. How is your day going so far? How is your day going so far? Such things are under my attention. Such things are under my attention. Do you have any children? Do you have any children? How is your day going? How is your day going? They wouldn't be stewardesses at sunrise. They wouldn't be stewardesses at sunrise. I'm going to the playground. I'm going to the playground. He didn't kiss at night. He didn't kiss at night. Not mentioned? Not mentioned? Previously tied. Previously tied. Wasn't he the advertiser next year? Wasn't he the advertiser next year? 2 I will go out if it is not wet. 2 I will go out if it is not wet. Weren't you a team? Weren't you a team? Wouldn't we usually be technicians? Wouldn't we usually be technicians? The container holds 1 liter of liquid. The container holds 1 liter of liquid. Can babysit. Can babysit. Do you manage? Do you manage? It should not meet once a month. It should not meet once a month. Should always come back. Should always come back. You can see the new construction across the street. You can see the new construction across the street. I am happy to have a healthy heart. I am happy to have a healthy heart. Before we make a final decision, let's gather some more input. Before we make a final decision, let's gather some more input. Could it be missing? Could it be missing? Are you threatening? Are you threatening? I want to sell you this watch. I want to sell you this watch. Were his cousins dietitians? Were his cousins dietitians? Aren't they charged annually? Aren't they charged annually? He did not dress at night. He did not dress at night. Sometimes we couldn't meet. Sometimes we couldn't meet. His sister was a window cleaner. His sister was a window cleaner. Last night, I laughed to myself to sleep. Last night, I laughed to myself to sleep. They volunteer at the local soup kitchen once a week. They volunteer at the local soup kitchen once a week. Will we be business women every year? Will we be business women every year? Are we rarely worthy? Are we rarely worthy? Isn't he rower after 4 nights? Isn't he rower after 4 nights? May I have your luggage tag, please? May I have your luggage tag, please? They can do daily floristry. They can do daily floristry. Wasn't he a blacksmith for 3 afternoons? Wasn't he a blacksmith for 3 afternoons? Can't buy normally. Can't buy normally. Will replace it at dawn. Will replace it at dawn. You should not carry. You should not carry. Should they be born? Should they be born? Do you have a single room available for tonight? Do you have a single room available for tonight? They were not imposed on a weekly basis. They were not imposed on a weekly basis. Don't we need a monthly agreement? Don't we need a monthly agreement? The cost of living in the city is rising. The cost of living in the city is rising. I can't survive before. I can't survive before. I'm going to the cinema to watch a new broadcast. I'm going to the cinema to watch a new broadcast. Could you please sign this consent form? Could you please sign this consent form? I need to get some milk. I need to get some milk. Couldn't he report sometimes? Couldn't he report sometimes? Can write. Can write. He is a hydrologist. He is a hydrologist. Normally discover. Normally discover. I can paint yearly. I can paint yearly. You must be a homeowner every month. You must be a homeowner every month. Normally shepherd. Normally shepherd. Were my cousins CEOs? Were my cousins CEOs? We would analyze after 4 days. We would analyze after 4 days. No matter what, she's always there for me. No matter what, she's always there for me. Shouldn't they do it every day? Shouldn't they do it every day? Will it install now? Will it install now? I'm going to the market to buy bread. I'm going to the market to buy bread. He goes to the library every week. He goes to the library every week. Can you explain this concept to me again? Can you explain this concept to me again? Is he a songwriter at 5 a.m.? Is he a songwriter at 5 a.m.? They are producers. They are producers. Can't he stretch? Can't he stretch? Your son was a columnist. Your son was a columnist. Will never undertake. Will never undertake. Was his father the weatherman? Was his father the weatherman? Didn't I get in at 5 a.m. before? Didn't I get in at 5 a.m. before? Should finalize. Should finalize. Are their grandparents ambassadors? Are their grandparents ambassadors? Do I accept your offer? Do I accept your offer? I only have one chance to do this job. I only have one chance to do this job. Wasn't he a daily astronaut? Wasn't he a daily astronaut? Is her nephew a swimmer? Is her nephew a swimmer? Is my grandson a gardener? Is my grandson a gardener? I put all my jewelry in the box to protect it. I put all my jewelry in the box to protect it. Is our aunt the interviewer? Is our aunt the interviewer? Should not disturb. Should not disturb. What is your favorite animal? What is your favorite animal? Couldn't it be then? Couldn't it be then? I can't believe the news I just heard. I can't believe the news I just heard. They could not sleep. They could not sleep. Shouldn't I be sure after 3 midnight? Shouldn't I be sure after 3 midnight? Should I be a blogger after 5 days? Should I be a blogger after 5 days? He loved to play the piano. He loved to play the piano. Did not usually teach. Did not usually teach. Was her mother-in-law a dietitian? Was her mother-in-law a dietitian? We should not organize monthly. We should not organize monthly. Were our children self-employed? Were our children self-employed? Was your grandchild an educator? Was your grandchild an educator? We would not direct. We would not direct. He orthopedist 4 p.m. He orthopedist 4 p.m. Were we at noon? Were we at noon? Can you block? Can you block? I need to buy some textbooks. Where can I find the campus bookstore? I need to buy some textbooks. Where can I find the campus bookstore? Would it be suitable at dusk? Would it be suitable at dusk? Can I paint now? Can I paint now? They talk on the phone every night. They talk on the phone every night. Is his half-brother a fielder? Is his half-brother a fielder? I have plenty of time. I have plenty of time. We may be missing from time to time. We may be missing from time to time. I am watching TV. I am watching TV. His grandmother is a comedian. His grandmother is a comedian. Immediately became botanists. Immediately became botanists. Doesn't it spill? Doesn't it spill? Was his colleague a bounty hunter? Was his colleague a bounty hunter? You should sleep. You should sleep. Was my brother an artist? Was my brother an artist? I'll take a hit. I'll take a hit. I express my extra vigorous and fair view of the farm. I express my extra vigorous and fair view of the farm. Weren't you an innkeeper 3 years ago? Weren't you an innkeeper 3 years ago? Your family was the ruler. Your family was the ruler. This image is very important to me. This image is very important to me. Rarely do we get. Rarely do we get. Cannot calculate. Cannot calculate. Cannot protect. Cannot protect. Saturday is my favorite day of the week. Saturday is my favorite day of the week. I'm going to plant my Christmas tree this weekend. I'm going to plant my Christmas tree this weekend. Was his stepfather a logger? Was his stepfather a logger? Will there be a deal at dawn? Will there be a deal at dawn? They can find it later. They can find it later. Would he do a bi-weekly athlete? Would he do a bi-weekly athlete?